So I think it's going to go. It's going back right now. It's going to go towards impersonal, perfect.
Yeah,
It's going to go to human driven again, because it looks too fake. It's not real. People like to buy from people. They don't like to buy from corporations.
hello and welcome to the Retail Podcast. I've got a big smile on my face because we've got an authentic, real show for you today. Not that the others aren't authentic or real. It's just already from the few minutes that we've had before the start of the show, I could tell that we're in for a treat today. And we're lucky enough to be joined by Dave Munson, who's the founder and CEO and president of Saddleback Leather. Hopefully, Dave, that's correct. I've got that right.
Well, you couldn't have got it wrong. That was all.
Okay, fantastic.
So, yeah.
We'll take that as a win. And also, I'm joined by Senior Director of Brand and Content Marketing, Melissa Dixon from BigCommerce.
Hi, Alex. Thanks for having me.
Absolute pleasure. So what we're going to do is, traditionally when we talk about e-commerce and digital, sometimes I think people get lost in this sort of, where's the customer, right? Where is the person we're doing all of this for? And so for me to have the opportunity to have someone like you, Dave, who has gone through the journey of not only have you got beautiful products, but you also have bought those beautiful products online. And if you haven't had a chance, please go and have a look at Saddleback's website. Their products are beautiful, and I'm hopefully, once I'm in the US, I'll be getting online and getting myself a satchel or something. But anyway, the relationship between e-commerce and product sometimes gets lost. And so what I'd like to do is spend some time with Dave talking about his journey on the challenges that he faced as a founder, CEO, president of this brand that's growing every year, going from strength to strength. But it's not always easy, and there are challenges, and you have to overcome that. And then we'll focus with BigCommerce in terms of how they help Saddleback. But we'll start with Saddleback first, and then we'll come to you, if that's okay, Melissa.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you. So, Dave, I was just talking there about the challenges in terms of Saddleback Leather and what you faced from an e-commerce perspective as your store grew. Can you just sort of shine a light on that for us? What did that look like?
So when I started Saddleback, I started selling pretty consistently in 2003. And so my website was eBay. and then
it's still for a lot of people. We shouldn't laugh. There's people do pay. Yeah.
And then, I just thought, well, if you just have a website, people just start coming to it. But I didn't know about, all of the technical things. And a friend of mine made me it was like a third grade extra credit project website, and it was kind of working. There weren't a lot of websites, then, and as many, and it was, everything was more pure. And then we got onto different platforms, and we finally came to BigCommerce and needed an full ERP. We tried somewhere else. I don't want to disparage the awful and horrible company that I was with before. That was oh my gosh. And so, but we found BigCommerce, and we tied that in with Acumatica. They tie in real nicely, and it's just so easy. Everyone's just like, so that's been really helpful to have something you can use. We had a space shuttle before, and there were 1,000 switches everywhere, and I didn't know which ones did what. And this is just, there are 1,000 switches, but the fly, go forward, go backwards. It's really simple to use. So we really enjoyed it. That's really helped us out a lot. When there's so much stuff, it's like having data. When there's so much data, you don't know what to do with any of it.
Got you.
So just the most important things are right in front, and that simplifying our business is what's been helpful.
Did you see, obviously, the products, and when we put the video out, I'll have some footage of your products so people can actually, I keep talking about your products, but ultimately for me, it's about feel, about smell, about the look of these products, right? So what was going through your mind when you were sort of crafting the customer experience online, tailoring your e-commerce platform to meet, I think they are unique demands. I guess you and perfumes, in the sense that you want people to smell stuff, but you want to buy them online. How did you What did that look like for you in terms of these tools that you've mentioned? How did you create that seamless shopping experience?
Yeah. So what I found is that if people like you, then they will buy from you. People, when they walk into a church, for example, within the first 5 minutes, they'll decide whether they're going to come back or not. And when they come onto the website, to let people know what you're all about, and with the textures of the website, the colors of the website, the great and glorious front photo. We don't have a carousel going around because we found only 1% of people click on that.
Right.
But we want the happy, smiley place. This is where I want to be. That's me right there. I want that in my life. Go get that, and then they go look around for something that they want to buy.
I got you.
We want them. So we're very relational. So we want warmth. We love people. We really, really love people, and so we want warmth. We want to let them get to know us. So I have our Saddleback story, which is a really interesting business story, how we started.
Yeah.
That's kind of our highlight. So we highlight my dog, the story of my dog, Blue, and everyone cries when they read it. And so we try to make it real personal and warm, and it's where they go, I like these people. There's something about them that I like. Tell stories. So because we're only online, they can't smell it. They can't taste it, lick it, then nothing. So it's like you want to do all of that. So yeah, we have to make it warm and personable. And that's our key. That's what we strive after all the time.
Dave, if you don't mind, I should have done this right up front. Could you, it's just when you said the story, because I've spent some time on your website, I've just taken for granted that the listeners and the watchers of this have all been to your website and they've seen your story and, about how how it all came to life for you. Would you mind just taking us through that? Just, if you don't mind, just spend a few minutes of bringing that bit to life.
Yeah, sure. So I was teaching English down in Mexico in 1999, and I was 28, and I thought I need a bag, to carry around my school books, and I walked everywhere. I think I had like a JanSport backpack or something from college, and so I thought, what would Indiana Jones carry? And so that guy's a man, and I bought a whip after I saw the movie. I went to Mexico and Tijuana and bought a whip from the market there, and I was like, okay. And so I looked around for a bag, couldn't find one like the one I had in my head. And I didn't know that I liked designing at the time. I just knew that I thought everyone could see things in their head like that. So I found a guy making bags, and I said, hey, could you make this bag if I sketch it out? And I don't want any breakable parts. And so, our slogan is they'll fight over it when you're dead. But I didn't have it yet. I just said, when I'm dead and the grandkids are rummaging through my office and they're fighting over things, I want them to fight over this bag.
Oh, wow.
And so, he made it in 1999. And then when I got back up to Portland, Oregon, where I'm from, people were 4 or 5 times a day asking me, excuse me, sir, where could I find a bag like that? That is amazing. Where could I get one? Or where can I get one? And I thought, hey, so I was a youth pastor. So I thought, hey, this would support my youth work, and I wouldn't have to raise money. I wouldn't have to get a job. I can go anywhere. So I started having some more made. I moved to Juarez, Mexico with my black lab.
Yeah.
And we slept in a little $100 a month apartment on the floor, no air conditioning, no heat. Just on the floor for 3 years. And all the money I was saving, though, I was sending down, putting it into the bank of this father and son. They would send bags up on the bus to the Juarez bus station. And then I would get them and take them to El Paso. And I sold them at a friend's mechanic shop at night on eBay. And in 2006, I was in Panama doing some photos of the bag and a suitcase that I had. And I met my wife on MySpace. I checked MySpace.
Oh, my goodness.
I was like, oh, hubba, she's pretty. So started talking, flew to San Antonio, Texas, and started kissing. And next thing you know, we got married. And just a few months later, and then 9 months and 15 minutes later, we had our little daughter. And just been in 2008, we started a factory in Mexico where all the tanneries are. And it's this beautiful part of the country, but tanneries everywhere, and everyone knows leather, shoe manufacturing capital. And so we started the factory there because no one cares about your stuff as much as you do. So we started making our own things, and it's just been growing ever since. And we just celebrated 16 years with our own factory.
Oh, wow.
Last month. No, this month, earlier this month. And so we have a lot of the original employees. Now we have a school with a school there. It's an all English homeschool curriculum. So for all of the kids of the employees, to give them English is a big, huge deal. And we have marriage classes and parenting classes, and we have counseling because we love our people. And so ministry never stopped. Just used to be with youth, but it just continued on in a different way.
Yeah,
with our people at the factory. So
that's fantastic, and it actually lends itself to the sort of the question. So as you've gone on this journey, if I understand this correctly, you've always sold online. Is that correct?
Exclusively online, yes.
And so obviously we were in focus on your previous provider, who was a very tough experience for you, and you were with eBay. Can you just tell me, and what do you look for then? Because you must have some, I don't know, secret spidey sense that tells you that these are the sorts of, in order to improve the website. I mean, I know you said you use data for the carousel, for example. You know, you weren't getting a lot of clicks on carousel, so that's not where we're going to focus. How do you decide on where you are focusing?
So on conversion rate, because the goal of a business is to make money. Like, if you don't make money, then if you can't lead the company to making money, then at the end of the year, then who cares all of the activities you do if you don't make money? So it's a lot easier to convert more of the customers that you already get to the website than to get more people to the website. So working on viral videos and all of that sort of thing, that's nice and everything. And doing SEO, that helps get more customers in.
Yeah.
But once they get there, if you can go from 2% to 4%, then you just doubled your sales for the whole year.
Yeah.
Holy cow. And so split testing and doing all kinds of just what so we're looking at marketing. We go, what videos will help people to make a decision today? And we work on what will have the most impact for which product. So we look and which color. And so for a flight bag, for example, one of our briefcases, which is the best color? And then we'll go on that color, and then we'll do a video explaining and taking all the questions that customer service gets asked about it, so that people don't ask customer service, and it's really easy. So that's where we focus is more on conversion rate than anything else.
This is one of the questions that I'm sort of just made me think of in terms of your digital touch points through, or your path to purchase, like the mission that people go through your store. You mentioned data earlier. Do you feel that you have enough data now on the bringing the invisible and making that visible as people go through your store? Are you happy with that level of visibility that you have now?
It's always changes. It's always changing. When the iPads first came out, one of my friends said, dude, you'd crush it if you had an iPad case. I mean, there's nothing out there. There's like, you would do so well. And I go, it was like the iPad 2. And I go, but I do have an iPad case. He goes, no, you don't. I looked at all of your website and I couldn't find it. And so I made it visible. And I made it like on the top navigation iPad cases.
Got you.
Sold thousands of them.
Yeah.
You're totally right. Sold thousands. So it's my fault if I can't, if it's not their fault that they're too dumb or something to find it. It's that I had 7 drop downs to get to it.
Yeah.
And so, that's a big deal. People finding, and a lot of things they don't know that they need it.
Yeah.
Like we have this little serving little tray here, little valet tray, little catch-all, just and pipes and cigar cutters and stuff. And I didn't know I needed it until I designed it. It was like, holy cow, this is awesome. And now, we sell oodles of them, but people don't know they need it until they find it. So part of the really thinking through, and of course, thinking through what is the most profitable also. Our trunk is not very profitable, but it's, $5,900. But I would rather sell this little valet tray all day long over a trunk because I'm more profitable. So the data I use is which pieces are more profitable. So at the end of the year, if I focus on which briefcase, which duffel bag I focus on, not necessarily trying to show everything to everyone because they can't see it all.
I got you. Well, I mean, again, we're coming up to, hopefully this episode will be out in the next couple of weeks. I think it'll probably be out next week. So it'll be well in the, Christmas period, while people are Christmas shopping. I'm just curious, the data that you use for colors, and again, because you've been doing this for so long, where are you, what's sort of driving that for you? And do you see any trends for this Christmas that you think, I don't know, there's a color that's really from your website, you're pulling that insight and then that's going to go into your holiday season marketing or e-commerce site?
Yeah. So we used to do snowflakes coming down on our website, at Christmas.
Yeah.
You'd click on there and
Yeah.
little, but all of those little details make it like holly around our logo.
Okay.
It slows down our load time a little bit, but it just makes people smile. If you can make people smile and have warmth and have smiley pictures of people smiling, they're happy, they're with other people. That's what everyone wants. So like this leather right here, has a warmth to it as opposed to like a grayish brown. It just feels warmth. Fireplaces, reds. We'll have a lot of reds in. Christmassy red. Everyone just likes red. So warmer colors, red's not serious. I think people like warmth.
Got you. When you look to the future of e-commerce, do you see any major? I'm asking you to look into your looking glass here. Well, what do you see the major trends?
I see it's going to swing from. I think it's going to swing away from no personality to heavy. It's going to go back. Right now, it's swinging towards AI-driven content.
Yeah,
and every word is perfect, and it flows like perfectly. Everything's perfect, but that's not real life.
Yeah,
people don't make mistakes. People make mistakes. People use commas and they're talkative and they maybe ramble a little. So I think it's going to go. It's going back right now. It's going to go towards impersonal, perfect.
Yeah,
it's going to go to human driven again, because it looks too fake. It's not real. People like to buy from people. They don't like to buy from corporations, and so I think it's going to go back to being very personal and less corporate.
Okay, so it's really, really interesting. We're talking about Christmas and the holiday season in general, because let's look at it as a festive season. With the economy and the backdrop of the economy, I know we've got the election in a couple of weeks, but life is still tough for a lot of people out there. I'm just curious how you go about your pricing strategy. You mentioned about your profit strategy, if you like, selling the trays over the big suitcase. Or trunk, that's what you call it, trunk. Yeah. I'm just curious, how do you decide, especially in like a tough economy where people are very price conscious?
Yeah, so we found $2.99 is it. You'll sell way more at $2.99 than you will at $300.
So, as in like $299, not $299.
$299.
Yeah,
you sell it at $299.
Not anything at $299.
Yeah, right. Candy bar now. Yeah. But $2.99, yeah, someone will buy something. It's kind of a spontaneous. Well, they have been good to me this year. I'll get something like that. But $3.19, $3.29, anything over that, it starts getting like, think about it. It's tight right now. Do I really need this? But with retail therapy, I'm sad. I'm depressed. I don't feel good. Everything's tough. I haven't had any luxury in my life. What the heck? I'm going to buy something. And they want to feel nice. And so we help people. And we are promoting selling. Our average order value went down this year over prior years, this year and last year over the years before, because we started focusing on selling lower. I started designing lower dollar pieces, still high quality. We didn't lower our quality at all, but things that bring people joy. So I would rather sell 10 little valet trays than sell one briefcase. And it's easier to sell 10 little valet trays than one briefcase.
Okay.
And so we've been promoting lower dollar, still high quality, lower dollar stuff to our people, and it's been successful.
That's phenomenal. So something for everyone, as they would say.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. Melissa, I know that BigCommerce does a lot of research for the holiday season, and you must have so much back-end data that you have. I'm just curious, what types of trends are you seeing for this 2024 holiday season?
Yeah. Well, I wish I had all the data. We have a lot. A couple things are really standing out. So first and foremost, we always talk about, oh, it seems like the holidays start earlier every year. They do. I think we've seen this for a couple years now, but retailers like Amazon, Walmart, Target, they're rolling out, huge shopping events in October. So that's really a standout thing. We also know that I think it's NRF reported that nearly half, like 45% of holiday shoppers plan to buy items before November. We're almost in November now, so it's likely, held true. But I think what that means for these brands and retailers is that, kind of just like Dave said, holiday sales, pricing, promotions, discounts, they remain essential to incentivize shoppers in this season. So Cyber Week, also those 5 days between Thanksgiving to Cyber Monday, those are still huge. It's still the biggest shopping week of the year. We see that with our BigCommerce customers. The broader industry trends reflect that. So it's really important for these brands and retailers to sort of strike a balance between the early promotions and also the big, like, traditional holiday deals. So basically just the span of the holiday season is longer than it used to be. So that's a big one that has a really notable impact on shopping trends. And then also another one worth calling out, I think, is the increased demand for flexible payment options. Like, that's huge. Dave spoke a lot about checkout, and that's critical. So we're talking about things like digital wallets, BNPL, and that's buy now, pay later, even crypto. I would say all of those are key. Buy now, pay later has really interesting data around it. The most recent forecast that I read, which I think was in August, the U.S. buy now, pay later market is projected to reach 94 billion this year and then exceed 100 billion in 2025. This is massive. And it's not for every shopper. It's not for every business, but it's important to see how these trends are growing, because really the overarching trend is the need for flexibility. So whether it's BNPL or whether it's digital wallets, it's all about making sure that your customers have the options that they want. And then the last standout trend that I'll really mention, this should come as no surprise to anybody, but mobile commerce keeps going up. Like, I was looking at, I think I use eMarketer a lot to pull data, and 6 in 10 US consumers are using mobile wallets to make payments this year. So mobile is just on the rise, and that's of course going to be crucial for the holiday season. In fact, I don't know if you recall this, Alex or Dave, but last holiday season was the first year that mobile sales overall surpassed desktop. That's a big deal. That was just last year. It was the first year that we did that. So it was 51% last year. It's projected to be 53% this year. So what that means is that having that mobile-friendly experience is absolutely a must. So that's, mobile-friendly design, smooth navigation, a layout that basically works seamlessly on any screen.
Melissa, I've got a question about that. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Sure.
Do you have that by category, or like, are people buying yachts on their phone, or are they buying, like, is it skirts? I mean, what is it?
Yeah, so definitely if you're interested, look at like NRF data. They always have the best, and then there's also Salesforce and Adobe. For our BigCommerce data and the broader industry trends, what we're seeing is that people are becoming more and more comfortable buying those big purchases. So whereas in the beginning, maybe pre-pandemic, it was, mostly just fashion or small goods, we're starting to see the industry starting to see larger purchases becoming more common on mobile. People got more comfortable with it during COVID, and now across generations, they're starting to embrace it. So yeah, it's really interesting to watch. So those are a few of the key trends that we really see. And of course, retailers are still going to have their fair share of challenges like every year. We talked about economic uncertainty, macroeconomics, and they're still always planning for traffic surges and demand. But I think that what it all comes down to, whether you're leveraging, some of the latest technologies, whether you're adhering to these trends, trying to apply them to your business, it's really about, during the holiday season, I think just having that clear communication with your shoppers to manage their expectations, and just, telling them when things are going to arrive, having really clear bestsellers, like you talked about, Dave, with the iPad case. Like, that's a perfect example. Make sure your site's optimized for search and, merchandising, and having your bestsellers out there, communicating those discounts, and just strong communication throughout this.
If you were going to make a list, let's say the top 5 things for all the trends that you're saying that I need to be getting my business aware of or ready for trading or the holiday season, I say 5, maybe it could be less, it could be more, but I'm just curious, what are those features that I need on my e-commerce site to hit those?
Yeah, great question. I would argue that, and a lot of the data backs this up, Dave, you kind of spoke to this too. Checkout is the most critical point, right? And you want to remove all friction. So I would say overall, it's the checkout experience. Now, a huge piece of that is having the flexible payment options. So, for example, we at BigCommerce, we just launched Fastlane by PayPal. That's a good example of one. And we're actually, I love how BigCommerce is always innovating with payments too. And with our partners, we were actually the first e-commerce platform to launch Fastlane by PayPal. So that's really exciting because we're trying to stay on the forefront for our customers so that they can deliver the best experience to their customers. So checkout and payments is, in my mind, and based on everyone I've spoken to and all the data, number one, absolutely, hands down. Things like Fastlane are really interesting because it's just this immediate purchase where, you don't have to put in any information. These are just things that during the holiday season, especially, people have a lot of shopping to do and don't want the friction. So I would say payments and checkout are number one. I would also say that I do think optimizing for mobile is huge and a must. And if, there may be delays, like people may have put things off. Like we're seeing now that, like I was just saying, if mobile purchases are eclipsing desktop, this is no longer a nice to have. I was just talking to one of our customers, actually leading a panel on mobile commerce last week. One of our customers, Homedics, great brand. And the woman that I was speaking with was talking about the fold does not exist. For so many years, we lived by this idea of the fold and merchandising, and now it's obsolete. So designing for any device, especially mobile forward, is be great. I think too, there's also, I would say what's also paramount, and this is not a trend, but just the direction of e-commerce and commerce in general, is just optimizing for omni-channel commerce and the connectivity between channels. I mean, that's huge. We have at BigCommerce, one of the ways that we're helping people, we have our subsidiary brand, Feedonomics, which for many is like a feed management solution, which is so fantastic. And I just want to, this is one that I just want to like scream it from the rooftops, because I'm like, wait a second, why isn't everybody using this? It's basically what it does is like harmonizes your product data across all your channels. It automates and optimizes your product catalog to ensure that your product listings are showing up accurately and optimize across all these channels, everything like marketplaces, social, your website, ads, like anywhere. So that means your products are that much more discoverable. And the implication is then, you're reaching more people, you're making more sales. So I think omni-channel connectivity is another one that's paramount. And yeah, well, since you asked for 5, I'll keep going. I mean, I do think that AI powered functionality, like there are so many use cases that are so much broader than people even realize that can just give brands the competitive edge. But I think there's tools like Klaviyo and Bloomreach and SearchSpring that like analyze browser behavior and provide tailored product searches and personalized merchandising and recommendations. Like, that's different. That's a different thing than using AI to create content, or which, there's nothing wrong with that either. It's for some people, and for some people it's not. The businesses that maybe aren't so keen on using AI to create content, for example, it might behoove them to look into using AI to make, to have AI generated product recommendations and merchandising and all of that. So I do think that's been another huge trend that's really just, shifting the way we go about utilizing our data.
Okay. I'm just curious in terms of wrapping things up, when you look to, and Dave, I do have one question for you, so don't jump off. When you look at sort of 2024, 2025, is BigCommerce, like you mentioned, payments, are there any other areas that you're focusing on in terms of providing that seamless shopping experience across all channels? What are your, if you like, big bets or innovations and enhancements that you're going to be focusing on as you go forward?
So where are we innovating?
Yeah, as in like what you're going to focus on in 2025.
Okay, so there's a lot of exciting stuff happening. One of the biggest ones that we're so excited about is called Catalyst, which is our new headless storefront solution.
Yeah.
And basically it's like pre-optimized for performance, for SEO, and it's designed to simplify headless builds so people can get to market faster. And a lot of people, we can get into headless, but that's a whole subject of its own. But the point is that this is something that creates a stronger, more effective user experience that allows people to go to market faster. And so that solution layered with MakeSwift, which is another subsidiary, and that's our no-code visual editor. You have these two entities, the Catalyst and MakeSwift, and it basically, it's a game changer, like allowing brands and retailers to quickly create these beautiful, engaging experiences with like zero coding knowledge. So Burrow is a customer that I love. That's a good example. They're a furniture brand too, that's utilizing that. So there's that. And then I already talked about Feedonomics. One of the things Feedonomics is doing though, on top of just the standard, feed management, Feedonomics also has a new instant commerce offering, which is basically partnering with like brands and retailers and marketplaces to enable same day delivery. It's essentially to keep up with the competition and the Amazon effect, as we say. So that's something that is going to be really useful for brands year round, but also for the holidays. Like something like that can help capture last minute shoppers who maybe miss the standard shipping cutoff. Also, with AI-driven personalization, a couple of things we're focusing on now. We're dipping our toes into the AI game and getting there with tools like we have Big AI. We call it Big AI product recommendations that personalize that shopper journey. And then also there is a Big AI copywriter tool that we have, which does streamline the creation of SEO-friendly product descriptions, which is really useful to a lot of brands when it comes to writing descriptions. And then advanced checkout tools, that's going to continue to be an area of innovation. Native one-page checkout, and I mentioned Fastlane, which is like the latest in our payment innovation partnerships. So so lots of exciting things happen. It's just
and it's interesting in terms of the focus areas that you've got in terms of as in like checkout, payments are some of the trends. Dave, again, I always make this assumption. Are you actually in physical stores anywhere? It's like, we talk about omni-channels and channels, or are you pure play online only?
No, just is that called pure play?
Yeah. Oh, that's what we
sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we're pure players.
Okay. But
yeah.
any plans? I'm just curious, as an e-commerce leader, are you looking, or an e-commerce business, are you looking as physical? Because if you're going to go through the sort of iterations that some other pure play e-com companies have done.
No, just in our own little shop here.
Yeah.
Here in.
And where is that? When you say here, where is that?
We're in Azle, Texas. It's near Fort Worth, Dallas, Fort Worth.
Okay.
So, in fact, one of our customers flew in from California. A lot of people fly into DFW for a conference.
Yeah.
And they drive all the way over to come to the mothership.
And how long of a drive is that? Because I'm just planning my next trip.
It's about 45 minutes from the airport.
Okay.
And we're building our headquarters about 5 minutes from here. We're going after the coolest headquarters in the whole world. That's our goal. Not the biggest.
I'm curious, what have you got plans of what's going to make that cool?
Oh, tunnels and swinging bridges between the buildings and secret rooms. And we're going to have a lot of fire. And one of the buildings we're making with solid leather bricks of like straw bales and hay bales, or we're baling our leather scrap. So the whole building will be solid leather. So yeah, stuff like that. But no,
when's that opening? So again,
we're hoping to have that open May 1st.
Perfect. In 25, in 20.
Yes. And we have a little up, you got to fix it up a little bit, but for the zip lines and stuff. But that's the goal. But just there. And so what we do is we're strictly online. What I've seen is people going away from getting into other people's stores, wholesaling B2B.
Yeah.
What I've seen is they pull out of that, and I've seen them opening their own stores because in high traffic areas, if you're Lucchese or some really recognized boot brand or something, you go to a store that sells those. But if no one knows about you, they're not going to go to a strip mall or somewhere that doesn't have. You want them to discover you for smaller brands. So we're going to be opening. We're hoping to open some stores in high traffic areas close by, but the mothership will be here at the headquarters.
Fantastic. So watch this space.
Watch this space. Yeah. No, but as soon as we start saying it costs us $100 to make it, and then so we wholesale it for $200 to a big box store, and then they sell it for $400. We just we don't like that. We like the flexibility of if it costs $100, we can sell it for $250.
Yeah, I got you. I just said it has an impact on your pricing strategy. So
yeah, there's you have nice stuff, but I mean I like Aston Martins and Rolls Royces, but at the same time, they're not affordable. I wouldn't be married if I bought one. But my marriage would struggle a lot if I bought one. And so, but I wouldn't struggle as much as someone bought a $500, $700 briefcase. If it were at $1,000 or $1,200, you start getting out of the realm of like maybe one day.
Yeah, I got you. Perfect. So Melissa, same question to you before we wrap things up. So you mentioned, as we were talking about communication being key, I was just wondering, obviously it is key, and all the different forms of communication that exists out there, whether it's WhatsApp, whether it's messaging, iMessage. Can you just expand on that whole thing for us a bit?
Yeah, I think what sometimes gets lost in the fray of the holidays is how crucial communication is to the customer experience. As a seller, as a retailer, as a brand, one of your objectives, you're trying to build trust and confidence to make sure those shoppers feel confident enough to make the purchase, right? So that it's so crucial to be able to communicate proactively with your customers. And what we find, what the data shows, is that if you're telling your customers up front, hey, maybe this product isn't going to arrive overnight, but it's going to be here then. Here are the updates with your order. Here is the cutoff date for, to get your product by the holidays. Here is when this particularly great holiday offer ends. Shoppers are so much more likely to embrace that than if you don't provide them with the information up front. So I can't, overstate that enough. I think that just making sure that you're communicating clearly with your shoppers, like Dave talked about, being liked and, saying if people like you, they will buy from you. And that's a huge piece of that, is if you're transparent and communicate with your shoppers. So definitely take that to heart for the holidays, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're not going to talk about it, but for me, retail is a conversation, and it's one that you want to be involved in, and you want people to sort of slip into that. Like, we all love those beautiful conversations, and I can so see why communication is so important, because you need that ongoing communication. Dave, Melissa, thank you so much for carving out some time in your days to have this conversation. For me, it's been super enlightening, and I look forward to seeing you both in person, maybe Melissa at NRF, but Dave, hopefully in Dallas sometime I'll be there. So just watch this space.
Yeah,
thank you for having us. I really appreciate you including us in what you're doing. Appreciate it.
It was fantastic. Thank you.